Hey people on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We're back with more of PodFest Asia Presents NFT Live Festival. And I'm super honored and privileged because coming right up in under 1 minute, our live interview with Josh Katz, who's the founder and CEO of YellowHeart and also Rolling Stone's Future 25. So here's a little short introduction about Josh. He's the blockchain expert that went from fetching tuna sandwiches for Clive Davis to designing NFTs for stars like Kings of Leon. So we can't wait for Rolling Stone's Future 25. Josh Katz, the founder and CEO of YellowHeart, famously launched Kings of Leon and XXX Temptation NFTs to join me on PodFest Asia Presents NFT Live Festival. So we're going to ask him loads of questions, especially how this Long Island native actually go from taking deli orders for executives to actually designing NFTs. So without much further ado, let's welcome our special guest on our virtual podcast studio. How are you, my friend?
Hi, nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you. It's 1:36 a.m. right here in Singapore. What time is it over there in New York?
It is 1:36 p.m.
Fantastic. So, it's great that to be able to stay up late in order to talk to you because I've been looking forward to this interview for the past 1 week and a half. So it's so great that you're finally here with us. And we just want to go right into our questions that we have prepped for you. So let's start with your story, because it's a really interesting story and journey. We would love to hear how you got started and how the journey has been so far for you.
Thank you. So started in music, really as a child because it was always my passion. Always just loved music. I'm a guitar player and a guitar collector, particularly acoustic guitars, Martin guitars, the Angelico guitars. And I have always just had a passion for it. I'm an adamant Fish head. I follow the band Fish. I'm deep in music and it was always my passion. So I worked in the music business really in college. And ahead and came out of college and took a job in the music business, spent a decade there, meeting all types of amazing people. And I worked on thousands of album releases and just, it was a tremendous experience. But, unfortunately, as my career was going up, the industry was going down. And, with the removal of the compact disc, the CD, the music industry fought technology. It didn't embrace it. And at the time, it was clear to me, so I had left the music business. This was in 2003, and in 2004, I started EL Media. And EL Media was a direct reaction to the music business, where the music business had been forcibly making fans buy product for high prices for a long time. So if you wanted one song, you needed to buy a CD, which cost, how much a CD cost? At the time, just in dollars, you're talking about $25 maybe. And it was wrong. And then you went to a free model. So everyone immediately ran into the free gate. And then they kind of fell on $1 a song with Apple, kind of, set that template similar to what we're trying to do now with YellowHeart. And, the industry, though, just got lost. And I call it a lost decade for sure. It could be a lost 2 decades. We'll see. But at the end of the day, the artist made no money. And that's really what it boils down to. The industry went like this. Literally, it's a third of what it was, recorded at least. And the live industry actually got a lot bigger because artists had no choice but to go on the road to survive. So EL Media basically took music and it made it part of your lifestyle, part of your everyday. So we put good music for the first time as playlists into hot restaurants, hotel lobbies, Vegas pools, like all the places where people were hanging out. And I don't know if you remember that far back, but back then, restaurants were just transitioning to places you'd hang out. Hotel pools were first becoming cool and getting cabanas and getting DJ gear put out there and lights put in and all of that stuff. That didn't exist, So EL Media fostered that entire movement and really was the soundtrack of it. We did the music for Nobu brand and Tao Group and Hakkasan and Four Seasons and every single cool brand you could think of really turned to us by the end. And we fostered really the sound of hospitality and the sound of all of these cool places. And that kind of ran its course. And, for me, it became something that became a little bit boring, I'd say, where maybe after a little over a decade, I had been running the same business, very formulaic. You sign stuff up, you would ideate cool projects, but then you kind of move on. And simultaneous, we were also selling speakers and installing them and doing lots of hardware. So I actually looked to sell the company. I hired an investment bank in 2016, and we ended up selling the business. And I moved on. And at that point, I was getting into crypto, and I just went right down the rabbit hole, and that was it. So here we are.
What a great story! What a journey from providing the soundtrack for the hospitality sector to now, launching and helping Kings of Leon and Maroon 5 as well. I think you're gonna be doing a project. In fact, a launch of this Maroon 5, which is this is the first ever fan community decentralized autonomous organization as well. So you're dabbling in all these, great events in terms of technology, in cryptocurrency as well. And from that, to this. So how has this, transition been for you? Was it, the first time when you heard about Bitcoin, for example? Was it a long time ago? And were you one of the early adopters? And actually, saw the rise, the rapid rise, actually helped you to actually envision that, this could be a great model and be a game changer and helping artists that you love. And of course, you love bands like Fish and you're a collector of guitars. So part of your DNA is in your blood to actually help musicians, right?
Yes, very much so. So YellowHeart means to have a heart of gold and to care about others and be compassionate. And those are the ethos of our company. We are a fan first and artist first company. And everything we do is about creating frictionless commerce between artists and fans. Our goal as a company is to eventually become autonomous and to just get out of the way and let artists and fans have a free flowing relationship. So in order to do that, we have to foster this incredible technology that is here for us to use. And for me, I learned about Bitcoin, probably not one of the early adopters, maybe around 13, 14. So I don't think I'm one of the earliest by any means. But at that time, I, started to get really fascinated with it. And then, of course, when when Vitalik launched ETH, that was it. That was when I kind of went down the ETH, black hole and never came out. Still am down there. And, it's been incredible. I feel as if I ran around New York and around the entertainment business and the music business for a very long time, for 3 years, being completely misunderstood, where nobody would listen to me, nobody would take me seriously. They liked me, I think, and I know I'm passionate and I'm doing these for the right reasons, but no one understood the tech or cared about the tech. So it was a difficult mission to continue, especially through COVID, because the music industry did not really want to hear what I had to say for a long time. We removed NFTs from our decks 3 years ago because people were confused. I had the president of one of the most biggest music companies in the world say to me in December of 2020, 6 months ago, Josh, if we want to sell digital merch, why would we need a blockchain? And that pretty much sums up my entire existence as YellowHeart up until March, where I went out in COVID and started speaking to all types of artists. I started with the Chainsmokers, who were partners in YellowHeart. They were not, open to what I had to say. So we kind of moved on. And we eventually landed on Portugal the Man. And Portugal's manager, Rich Holtzman, is a brilliant, brilliant manager, super smart. And he saw the opportunity and he did it. And we launched the first social token on the Rally network, which is a tremendous network for creators. Really, it's top in class. And if you're a creator and you're looking to monetize as a creator, I highly recommend going to Rally.io and checking it out. And we launched Portugal there, and it got some notice. People paid attention. It was cool. Oh, what's that? It opened a few eyes. And I said, okay, well, here we go. And simultaneous, I'd been speaking with Kings of Leon and working with them on ideating and putting together their NFT. So at that point, I said, you know what, let's do this as not as much of a creator coin and more of a NFT, and that's more of a fit for YellowHeart. So we launched Kings of Leon on YellowHeart.io, and and it went off, and it basically did what I had been hoping it would do, which would be to open the eyes and the minds of the music and entertainment executives around the world to see the power of this amazing technology.
And I think you opened the eyes and the ears of the fans as well. I remember, before the news came out about Kings of Leon releasing the album as an NFT, right? And attaching a lot of other, real life experiences to the digital collectible. It caught my eye for the first time. And it was the first moment when I was genuinely interested in NFTs. Because before that, I think many of us were all stuck at home during the pandemic. And we were all probably spending our time on Clubhouse. And there were many NFT artists talking about NFTs, but it really, caught my attention when there's a music attachment to it, or it's related to music, bands that we love, Kings of Leon. I think when that article goes out, I think it was either Rolling Stone or was it NME magazine when I first read about, musicians are also minting their work as NFTs. This is going to be a game changer. And then I saw the company behind it, YellowHeart, and your name. You were quoted in basically all the news media. And I was telling myself at the time, I have to bring you on to the podcast and to interview you because you're the person who's singularly responsible for bringing this project to fruition. Tell us how difficult or how challenging it was to actually get the Kings of Leon entourage or their management team on your side, because you were saying how difficult it is to even get people to understand what blockchain is. Why is it more than just, something that is trendy, but it's basically having, this on a public ledger that's going to be lasting in perpetuity. At the same time, it's also a marketing collateral and helping the bands to get their message and their new creative works out there into the universe, right? So how difficult was this challenge?
So, as I had, spoke about earlier, it was very difficult for a number of years where we were people were not receptive to us. And a lot of people kind of glazed over and listened, but then never followed up with me or didn't get back to me. And that's kind of how things went for a while. But it was okay because I was in New York in our office with a brilliant team, amazing team, and building out the platform. And we had the luxury of nobody paying attention, nobody caring, no one understanding what we were doing. So we got to build everything. And we whiteboarded every scenario you could think of endlessly and then coded. And we basically ended up building so much tech before COVID that nobody understood what it was, that when COVID happened, the whole creator economy exploded. TikTok boomed. Everyone's now home all day, making videos of themselves dancing, making videos of themselves baking bread. They also took out their guitars and their paintbrushes and their digital, and everyone's inner artist blossomed and creativity boomed over the last year, which is incredible. And that's why it's important for NFTs, because this allows this next generation to monetize directly, to really memorialize ownership stakes, memorialize rights, memorialize payments, memorialize wallet addresses where payments flow in perpetuity. And it sets up the new model for distribution of content and of art. So then we see the emergence of art where, I'm 47 years old. And in my universe I grew up in when I was younger, we had music based in genres where you either listened to rock or rap, or country, or classical, or jazz, but you didn't listen to all of them. And it was like, oh, he listens to rock and jazz. Oh, that's cool. And then iTunes comes out, and you can get songs for $1, and that matriculates out to Spotify and all of that, where it's, all the music you could eat for, $10 a month or listen to. And now everyone's playlist is just a potpourri of music, right? And it's all blended and it doesn't matter. And, it's all the same, the genres, they all just blend into each other. And I think what we're going to see next as a movement is the emergence of art, where art and creativity and music just become art. And what's going to happen is every rock star that I speak to and every middle musician career-wise, because they're all brilliant, amazing creators, they all have the same thing in common. They all do 5 or 6 artistic things. They're photographers and they paint and they are into clay and ceramics and they, but they're only famous for one. But yet every creative person I know does a lot of creative things, including myself. I'm super creative when I have the time, or I try to be. And like, it doesn't stop with one thing, and what NFTs does is it allows these artists and these artistic people to really meld everything that they're doing into a work. And now the expression of work is no longer monochromatic, where it's, oh, he makes great music. Oh, and look at, now he can move his music with his art. And this was happening over time with music video as an incarnation of it, GIFs, things moving viral. And this is just the next incarnation of the emergence of art becoming one, and then the memorialization of rights and the monetization of it through blockchain and other technologies. And the payment systems that blockchain brings, which are really the biggest strength of blockchain, is the transparency around payments. So, or one of the biggest. So that's, I think, what ends up happening. So back to your real question is, I circled the music biz for a long time looking for participants. Rich Holtzman, who's Portugal the Man's manager, was always receptive. Adam Alper, who's the Chainsmokers manager, became the first one who got it instantly. He jumped in with Alex and Drew from Chainsmokers. 3 of them immediately got it. And then the third person that really got it was Andy Mendelsohn, who's Kings of Leon's manager. So I had been out in LA meeting with him and showing him our ticketing platform. And he's so brilliant. He immediately got it and said, whoa, this is awesome. We should use this. And we did a few more meetings, and through those meetings, we became friends. And next thing you know, the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, we started chatting. And Andy is smart, and Andy is creative, and Andy freaking gets it. So he immediately knew this was the move. So the credit really goes to Andy Mendelsohn on this one. He just knew I was the guy to execute it. And you were going to find me. Let's call it what it is. So Andy said, okay, let's go. He brought in night after night, Casey and Jessica, who are incredibly brilliant as well and have done Kings of Leon's art now for over 13 years. So they're basically partners with the band, where the band makes the music and they make the images. They make the tour posters and the logos and the album covers and the T-shirts and everything else for the Kings. Most iconic rock band there really is now. The Kings are like the new version of the Stones, if you want to call it what it is, And they went to work on the new album and the creativity, and Casey and the band, they're super deep on a creative level that most don't even get to. And they put out the most incredible content, and all that YellowHeart really is a delivery method for it. We're nothing more. We are a platform that was able to help iterate it. I was able to help them with, we didn't have anything to follow. We didn't have a roadmap. If you look at the stuff YellowHeart's done, we were the first company to mint live NFTs at a show at Red Rocks in early May. We did 6 nights with Zoo, where we minted community tokens. Right now, we just launched a DAO with Maroon 5, where we are letting people contribute small amounts of money to the DAO, and then they get an equal vote with Maroon 5. We can talk about this later, but they become part of the Maroon 5 charitable community. And it's all about community building as fans and putting people together and letting them be inclusive. Where the music industry has in the past been like, you're excluded, maybe we'll let you in. We're not doing that. We're saying everybody's welcome. Come join us. We want everyone involved. So I hope that, I know that's a long way of answering your question, but I wanted to really tell the whole story.
It's a fantastic story. I think it just shows that there's so much hard work and toiling behind the scenes, right, to make this a possibility. And you had to change minds one at a time. It's not just 4 people. It's after that, the partners as well, and the artists and people who are responsible for the cover artwork, the whole management team, the whole community, and the whole fan base as well. They're all behind this, and it's incredible that you're providing this vehicle and this medium to make this possible. And now it becomes a blueprint, right? So many bands are following the footsteps, and obviously they have, taken notice when this news broke out. I think this is probably the best news for musicians after they are stuck at home, not being able to tour. And in a way, you're helping to innovate this industry. And I just love the fact that you're launching a DAO, and it's for fans. It's basically to help the fans and the community. And you're providing like special ticket offers as well for Kings of Leon, right? For their NFT yourself token holders. So for selective shows, they can actually go to YellowHeart's token redemption page and actually extract all these benefits. which is more than just a digital collectible. So this is definitely something that's really exciting for me personally as a music fan. I remember I was in Europe attending a concert by this bucket list band that I love called Rammstein. And I remember leaving the stadium and thinking, I'm now disconnected with the community. We had such a great 2 hours and a half rocking out in the stadium. But the moment we step out of it, we're all disconnected. There's no way for us to come back together again until probably the next concert. But by being able to do an NFT, you have this on a public ledger on a blockchain forever. People can actually search for it, right? And who actually owns a token or an NFT of a ticket pass to a concert of a Kings of Leon concert in the future. And all these are searchable and they can connect with each other because, you were one of the people who are part of this community who adopted this token way ahead of the rest. So it's something that to be bragged about, a little bit like what Led Zeppelin fans, when they're selling their ticket stubs on eBay for like 6-figure amount, right? And that ticket stub becomes something that they love to brag about for decades later on. So you're helping to enable that. So this is really incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying. We just really want to help out fans. I'm the biggest music fan you'll ever meet, and I love other music fans and I love sports fans. I'm a huge New York Yankee fan. And, I just want, as a fan, I just never have felt included. I've never felt welcome. It's always been difficult to get concert tickets. The music buying experience went away a long time ago where now I don't own music. I rent it every month. And, I think we need to go from rent to own again because I believe that fans want to own things. And now, listen, let me kind of just tell you about this Maroon 5 drop because I think it's super important. And it's going on right now at YH.io or YellowHeart.io. You can go in either way to our marketplace. You have to download the YellowHeart wallet. The wallet is a layer 2 wallet that runs on Matic. So, you need to transfer over your ETH to the Matic. Or you could use a credit card and buy it with traditional payments at YH.io. Now, you had touched on the DAO offering, which is something that the band actually came to us with, which was brilliant, which is all about coming in, and it's $25 minimum contribution, but you could donate as much as you want. I've actually been, looking around at, in the future, maybe some charities that will come in and want to be part of this, but this is all about climate change right now. And it's all about charitable endeavors as a community to give back for climate change. And the DAO is in 3 phases. The first is called the seed phase, which is in right now through tomorrow for $25. In that seed phase, you come in and you become a seed member of the DAO, which, as you can imagine, I don't have anything to announce now, but there, of course, will be Maroon 5 perks with being a seed DAO token holder. How could there not be? We're going to hook them up big time and that community, okay? After Friday, for $50, you could get in on the sprout phase of Maroon 5's DAO. It'll be $50. And, that's going to grow and that's going to go until September. And then we're going to announce the next phase where the DAO will actually open and be what's called a living NFT. And the living NFT is tied to the carbon index and is a flower that's going to wilt and, get wilt, if there's more carbon in the environment, it's going to get smaller and kind of die. And if there's less carbon in the environment, it will blossom and mushrooms will burst and, the NFT. So as a community, we're going to be working towards helping the environment through charitable causes with this DAO, with Maroon 5, with the whole band. And it's pretty game changing that as a community, everyone has an equal vote. No matter how much you contribute, you're in there and you're part of that community. And the band initially is going to float environmental impact and social impact, charitable proposals to the community, and the community will vote on whether to fund those proposals. Eventually, we hope the DAO grows to a point where the fans can submit proposals, and the organization will vote on those proposals. But what we're trying to do is to do well and do good for the environment and for social causes as a group, because we feel like there's more power as a group. And getting behind the greatest band and getting perks with Maroon 5 for helping donate to the environment, I mean, what could be better? It's like a win-win-win, right? So, yeah, I'll just tell you more. So with this drop, we also have a very inexpensive $15 animated album cover. It's going to be highly collectible. And then we also have 2 two bundles that are $50 each. One is sketches of each band member. The other one is flowered versions of each band member. And you buy it as one NFT, but when you open it up, it's actually 6 NFTs. So, it's really an incredible offering. But this is the thing is like, we're pushing this boundary with Maroon 5 right now to encourage the fans to move into this. And you said it right. The same way people are on eBay selling their Led Zeppelin ticket stubs for however much thousands they're going for. These are the real deal goods. These are the deals. These are the goods from Maroon 5, from the source. So in the years to come, these are the collectible pieces. These are the pieces that have provable scarcity that are on the Ethereum blockchain that are the authentic Maroon 5 merch, the authentic pieces that will live on. You're not going to be able to authenticate physical goods until YellowHeart introduces physical digital authentication, which is coming. But like right now, these digital goods are it. And look at the Kings of Leon ones. I mean, those have gone up in value like tenfold already. It's crazy. And the Maroon 5 ones, I think these things are incredibly exciting right now. So I'm really honored to be working with them. I'm honored to be kind of talking about this with you right now. And I think it's important that the community understands that this is all about really doing good and doing well as a community and being part of this. And this is going to go on for a very long time with the band. And as a community member, I could pretty much assure you when the band comes to your market, you're going to want to be part of the DAO community.
Which means that, in other words, whoever who wants to decide to choose either tier, right, either $15 or $25 or $50 or more, they become somewhat considered as a founding member, right, of this DAO, and they're contributing to a great cause. So this is a really great idea, and definitely, bands who are looking at ways to contribute, to all this, environmental causes or renewables, for example. These are ways to get really creative about by leveraging on NFT technology and, of course, working together with YellowHeart. You mentioned about sports earlier. I think that is something that we need to maybe talk about, because I'm a big fan of the English Premier League. I support Liverpool Football Club, but I do watch certain games when Liverpool play against Burnley Football Club. I think they are a really tough opponent, because my favorite team actually lost 3-0 against Burnley, I think 3 or 4 seasons back. So they are quite a formidable opponent. Tell us more about this YellowHeart and Burnley Football Club's experiments that are using, NFTs as a way for fans to also collect historic moments from their club's history, and also rewarding loyal fans with like special discounts and experiences, and even own digital collectibles, right, that are dedicated to their favorite players.
Wayne, yeah, it's an incredible partnership that we formed with Burnley. Alan Pace and the team, it's a new ownership, and they're super progressive. It's a progressive ownership that wants to really use technology to enhance the fan experience, and they're all about the fans. So their ethos is very much what YellowHeart's ethos is, about hooking up the fans, the longtime fans, and doing right by them. So we're going to be doing a lot of different, we're going to be NFT ticketing with them. We're also, which will most likely kick off in Q1 of next year, and then we're also going to be doing various, community building token drops, and we're still working through some of the plans with them. There's some things we have figured out. I'm just not going to want to discuss, because they're going to be, stuff that we'll announce to the fan base, and we're excited for them to be the first up on this stuff. But it's a very exciting opportunity, because once again, it's about community building. And around football, building the community, rewarding fans, recognizing the fact this is your 5th game this season. Let's hook you up. You are someone that's been coming for years. We should take care of you. Here's a free round of drinks. Here's a seat upgrade. Here's free merch. We want to, Burnley wants to look out for their fans. Burnley wants to do right by their fans. Burnley, whether you're coming to the game live, watching it on television, they want to build a community reward system that basically helps out the fan base. And this is what this all roots out of. So everything YellowHeart does, from our transparent ticketing, on NFT ticketing, down to the community tokens that we've been launching with artists like Zoo and Maroon 5, and the stuff that we're going to be rolling out with Burnley, is about enhancing the fan experience through community building and offering up reward systems and really great access and other things that the fans want. And what we try to do in every single project is we try to basically take a couple of steps back and say, okay, we're fans. we are now been coming to see this team for so many years. I'm a season ticket holder. I'm someone who can't afford season tickets, so I just buy individual seats and come to games either with my children or my family or my friends when I can. These are expenses that are not easy to come by. Ticket prices could be high. I don't really know in Burnley's case, but at the end of the day, we want to take care of people. We want to hook them up. And that's what this is really all about, is recognizing the fan and doing right by them.
I think this is incredible because you're innovating and helping, fans actually enhance their experience by getting into NFTs and then helping bands monetize their creativity by actually, minting their work as NFTs. Now you're bringing a football club as well onto this platform. And actually, we all think that for the rest of, outside America, right, especially in Asia, I'm in Singapore, many of us are actually fans of or followers of English Premier League. So we all think that once English Premier League clubs like Burnley comes on board, that means that NFTs are truly going mainstream. Do you agree with that statement?
Oh, absolutely. They went mainstream. They're going mainstream as we speak. They went mainstream in a big way. I think really, around the time of Kings of Leon, I think that was one of the things that helped. Beeple, was one of the other major factors, with Kings of Leon, and they're now mainstream. And it's incredible because there's a lot of use cases for them for cleaning up a lot of businesses and really creating efficiencies. So, I'm excited to see how people innovate with this tech now and how they use it and how they push things forward. And, really so excited to see amazing entrepreneurs now wrap their heads around this incredible tech and come up with stuff that just is so game changing for so many industries and so much cooler than anything we've seen before. And it's just amazing tech. And listen, the blockchain community knows. We all know. Okay, we've all been doing this stuff for a number of years. We all sit around blowing our own, minds every day, be like, oh man, we could also do this and we could do that. And at YellowHeart, the ideas are insane to the point where we have to be all right, no more ideas. We have to focus on these, pick the ones and focus on them. But everyone gets so excited around this tech. So now that there's widespread adoption of use and people start building, and more people are coming to me and I'm hearing about it and just they're saying, they're moving off of mobile and now they're going to start Solidity and it's awesome. It's awesome. And I'm so excited to see this community just blossom and blow up and become mainstream. The one thing I'm going to say though is that people need to mint responsibly. Okay, we can't go out minting every single piece of junk that everyone has an idea for. It's not good for the environment, and it honestly ruins the art. And now I understand that art is in the eye of the beholder, and that's the biggest thing. And art is sacred, but there comes a difference between kind of real art and not real art. And I think we need to be careful in the amount of tokens we're minting and the amount of energy we're burning in the environment until we really move towards, solar and wind and other types of, energy sources, because us minting endlessly for no reason is really not smart.
I think this is a nice segue to my last question for you before we let you go. I think this is also a very good, or I would say important questions for musicians out there, right? What would you say to people or musicians or artists who want to make money and they think that there's a gold rush? End of the day, right? Like what you mentioned, you need to mint responsibly. You need to care and show concern for the environment, right? Do you think that real art cannot be rushed and it needs to come on its own time?
Yes, I do. What I think is two things here. So art comes when art is ready. It's not something that's forced. It's not something that comes when you say for it to come. It comes when it comes. And any great artist or any mediocre artist or any bad artist knows that. It doesn't matter. You know that the art comes when it comes. So when the great art does come, there's the ability to go put it out. And now to answer you about gold rush, it's not a gold rush. What it actually is a chance to actually make a living again. So if you were an artist, if you're a musician, and unless you were a DJ who maybe went and, was able to make, a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 a gig playing wherever you're playing, it became pretty difficult. You had to go on the road, leave your family, go out there and play gigs. Hopefully people show up, you're paying to stay on the road. It's hard. But you weren't able to sell music anymore because streams don't really pay. So What this does is this says, okay, I can actually release my content, put it out, and sell it to my fans. So if you could sell it to your fans and keep pretty much all the money, you now can make a living again. And I wouldn't say it's a gold rush, but it's an opportunity to be an artist again as a career, which frankly, most artists were not able to be artists unless they were like got lucky or they really were best in class for the last decade plus. And this combined with a boom in creativity and a boom in content through TikTok culture, it's an incredible time right now. It's super exciting where you're going to see the next generation of stars explode, become bigger than ever, plus worldwide, because now there's no more boundaries. Everyone sees everyone's content. And they're going to be able to basically run their own show. They're not going to need third-party companies anymore. So very exciting time.
This is amazing. I think you have just summed it up, for all of us and our listeners in Asia as well. What YellowHeart is providing basically is to help artists and musicians reclaim their artistry, right? And get back what they truly deserve with their art and, of course, their creativity. So, reluctantly, we have to let you go. And thank you so much for allowing us to overrun this interview. We are now at the 40th minute mark. I'm going to just do and squeeze in one last rapid fire question segment with you. So are you up for it?
Sure.
Okay, the rules are pretty simple. Just keep, your response short and pithy, maybe maximum one sentence or two. So let's go. What are your proudest life moments?
Marrying my wife and the birth of my 2 children.
What do you want doing less of in the rest of 2021?
Zooms.
What do you want doing more of in the rest of 2021?
Making art.
Your advice for NFT artists and musicians?
Take your time.
Any future ambitions or side projects in the pipeline?
Need to become a better surfer.
How can people reach you?
YellowHeart.io.
Fantastic. I think we have the URL in the banner below. YH.io is a short form for your URL, right?
Well, we're YellowHeart.io, YellowHeart.com, and YH.io. Yep, is our market. So
fantastic. I really appreciate you, and thank you so much, for helping us to actually, being able to also own a part of what our favorite bands and most admired bands that we look up to in terms of their creativity as well. So it's great that I no longer, have to only collect vinyls. I have more things to collect now from all my favorite bucket list bands. So thank you so much. And any last words or message for our listeners who are replaying this podcast on your AirPods or smart speakers later on?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you, Wayne, for having me. I'm a big fan of yours. I have been for a while, and it's really an honor to be here. So thank you.
Likewise. Thank you, my friend. I hope to do this interview with you in the future, either in New York or somewhere else, probably in the festival, and do this interview in real life together with you. So I look really forward to that day. I think it will be an awesome day. Yeah.
I would love that. So hopefully maybe next year,
Yeah, let's look forward. And it's a date. So I'll see you next year, my friend. Take care.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Cheers. And that's Josh Katz. Make sure you follow him on LinkedIn. I think he's on Twitter as well. And of course, the website that you should go and actually find out more about how you can own digital collectibles is over at YH.io. Before I end tonight, or should I say this early morning Singapore program, it's about 2:13 a.m. right here in Singapore. I have a short service, or should I say public service announcement, yeah? So my name is Wayne. For those who are still not familiar with what I do, I'm the founder of PodFest Asia and also the host of this NFT Live Festival. I just want to maybe take a second to thank you for watching this live podcast taping or even listening to this podcast replay later on. I want to give a special thank you to all the supporters that we have on Patreon since 2020 and those who are now joining us on Substack. So our Patreon and Substack accounts make this podcast possible. It makes all these interviews and all of the thoughts that you heard right here, making it possible. So we are very grateful to everyone who supports the creator economy and the myriad of new shows that we are launching recently in May as well as in June. So if you would like to support, you can actually go to podfestasia.substack.com. So let me repeat that again. That's podfestasia.substack.com. YellowHeart.com. I think the banner is right below here. That's the URL. So do check it out. And before I go, just one last message, and just want to say that, you can get access to some really cool bonus episodes that we release every month for supporters only. And you could even get access to our free NFTs of the month club. So we send out really cool digital collectibles every single month. And it keeps my mouth talking, keeps my head giving and taking as well, and keeps all this going. So if you like the podcast and if you want to support the podcast, we would really appreciate it. And that's the message before I end the show. So here's maybe a little sneak preview of what's to come next. My VR headset has finally arrived, courtesy of Facebook. So thank you to our friends at Facebook. We're going to be wearing our VR headset next for our new festival coming right up called the Metaverse Asia event, where I'm going to be interviewing the head of community from spatial.io, as well as some of the other, key influencers and tech builders in the Metaverse and in the VR AR community. And we'll be actually doing this not in front of the camera. I'll be doing podcasting, live podcasting, using my avatar and my digital twin. So probably this is the last few times you see me in the flesh. I'll probably be sending my digital twin instead to do podcasting. And we'll see, all the avatars in the Metaverse talking to each other. And hopefully, it will probably brighten up or make this background more interesting. Probably we'll be doing a live podcasting session using the background of Mars, for example. So it's going to be a really exciting journey. And we'll be joining, all these great tech builders and get them to actually educate us on how the Metaverse is going to take creativity to the next level and helping us to do better podcasting. So with that, I'll see you in the Metaverse next. Goodbye. Good night.